Easy go.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. Good morning. Bam, we're live. Mike Egan.
Good morning.
My name is Mike. I am part of the ATA seminar staff. We're Adaptive Training Academy. We're essentially a traveling band that certifies coaches on how to work with the adaptive community on all varying disabilities. So we travel to any city or state that's interested in working with adaptive athletes and tell you how to do it safely and effectively. We also do online courses that have been done all over the world, and we have thousands of certified coaches that are passionate about working with the adaptive community. I am attempting a world record in the next few months of most miles covered in a wheelchair in 24 hours, as opposed to just making you run for an entire hour. Simulate using the same muscle groups that I'll be using while pushing in a wheelchair. We're gonna do a quick warm-up, quick PVC warm-up, and then we're going to brief each of the movements I'm having you do today and show you how to properly execute them. They are in the seated world fashion. So you're gonna see things that are a little bit different, but not so different. We're gonna challenge your shoulders, your triceps, your chest, your grip, your forearms, all things upper body. Welcome to the seated world.
Good morning. Dude, those forearms look crazy in that footage.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time pushing a wheelchair, so they've grown quite a bit.
Is that what that's from directly?
I think it's a big contributor for sure, and just years of doing CrossFit. So
I'm trying to think what I could see going backwards. You get some lat, and obviously you're holding onto the wheel, but it's not like you death grip the wheel, right?
if you're trying to like pick up a decent amount of speed,
Yeah.
you have to have a good grip on the wheel to push harder. So lots of hours doing that, so it adds up.
Hey, do you do any like I don't know, supplemental stuff around that? Like you'll do some training like with wrist weights, like 1 pound wrist weights, 2 pound wrist weights, 3 pound, and then take them off and then go? Or do you ever do anything like that?
I don't really add weights to my push. Generally, like I spend long enough to where like I'll hit fatigue. I think some like complementary stuff I'll work a lot of grip strength, like hanging on the pull-up bar or adding weight to me while I hang on a pull-up bar, or skier, other different pulling movements to kind of counteract that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of big forearms. Obviously, we're in the space, and then obviously my time spent around arm wrestling. But you have this one that's in the front here that's like it almost looks like you've been kicked there. Do you know what I mean? It's like
So that's
that one's
actually an injury.
that one's crazy. Oh, that is an injury. Oh,
That is
I
an
was like,
injury.
but isn't it on both sides? It's not on
No,
both
it's just
sides.
one. So you can kind of this left forearm. There's actually a scar. It's really like faint, um, but it
Long
was
though,
one
I
of
see it. It's like a foot long.
yeah. So you could actually see like the muscles. It's kind of freaky. So I lost like a majority of my muscle in my left forearm, and I have no feeling in my left forearm. So I had a nerve fracture in the left side, and so I have no feeling in like half my fingers here.
Is that the same accident we talked about? Is that the one where you lost your legs? Same one.
Yep. Yeah, same one. So a
Oh
lot of people
shit.
don't know that. They just look at me and they're like, "You have your forearms have forearms," and I was like, "No, I'm actually missing a large part of my forearm. That's why it looks so freaky."
That's
Uh,
actually scar tissue.
it's scars. Yeah, it's missing part of my forearm.
Well, I had Kevin Ogar, a friend of yours, on yesterday, and he immediately had to let me know that his arms were bigger than yours. I didn't believe him for a
Yes.
second.
Yeah. Well, Kevin ties his shoes every morning like he's going somewhere, but you know, I love that. I love Kevin. We always give each other a hard time, but he's a great dude.
Before, I want to talk to you about the training academy. I really want to talk to you about setting the world record. Since I've been a little kid, I've been a nut about the Guinness Book of World Record. I think world records are so cool. But tell me, on the 12th, 13th, and 14th of this month, there is the CrossFit Games in to crown the fittest in Las Vegas, and you've normally competed in it, but this year you have a different role.
Correct. Yeah. So I competed for the past 3 years. This is the first year I'm sitting out, and mainly to chase the world record. CrossFit's great. fitness wise and functionality wise has been, paid dividends for me going after this world record, but they didn't really like coincide one another. You don't have a 24-hour pushing in a wheelchair event at the CrossFit Games. So I decided to, CrossFit gave so much to me. I said I wanted to give back, and this is my way of giving back. So I'll be out of Vegas doing some work for them out there, and doing some commentaries, possibly some post-event interviews. So yeah, excited to be out there and get to watch other people suffer and not being the one suffering for the weekend. So
When you say they're not, they don't coincide, is it basically like right now you're training for an endurance run and CrossFit's more of a powerlifting meet?
well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say like CrossFit's a powerlifting meet. I think it's the best standard out there for fitness. Um, the endurance world is very like, you know, CrossFit athletes aren't the best sprinters in the world or long distance runners, but they can hold their own. I'm going to like the super extreme of endurance sports, which takes a completely different training method. Like I'm pushing in my wheelchair anywhere from 90 to 100 miles a week currently. So leaves very little room to throw some barbells around and have fun in the gym.
Uh, you I don't have it here, but I saw it yesterday. You did a 1,000-pound total.
Yeah. Yeah, 1,000 pound. Um, so I gave myself kind of like I created this workout to where it's 1,000 pounds or max lift for 3 lifts
Oh.
in the seated position. And I hit 1,000 pounds. It was a seated deadlift, a bench press, and a strict press overhead. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Yeah, that 500-pound deadlift nearly took me out.
I was actually telling Dave about this yesterday, and he's like, "Okay, tell me." He goes, "How did he do it?" I'm like, dude, he sits on bench press bench, and pulls 500 pounds from underneath him.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
It's fun, man. I love doing the heavy lifts. You know, one of my strongest events when competing in CrossFit is anything super heavy. So I created a fun little workout for the adaptive community to kind of have fun with it. And I
Has
beat
anyone?
Kevin at it too. I think there's a comment from Kevin. There's a comment from Kevin somewhere on that video. He's like, "You beat me by 10 pounds."
Have
Something
you
like
ever
that.
seen anyone do more than 1,000?
Uh, there's plenty of people out there that could smoke me on this workout.
No shit.
Yeah, you should look into the adaptive like strongman competitions. They're insane. David Walsh is currently the world record holder for the seated deadlift. It's something stupid like 1,400 pounds or something.
What?
Yeah, seated deadlift. Yeah,
Yeah, this is crazy.
yeah.
Hey, is there any way you could that seated press, the seated strict press? Is there any way you could even cheat that with your biomechanics?
Not really. You could. There could be a way to where you could lean back a little bit more and probably treat it more like an incline press.
Yeah.
Like some if you have a high enough backrest on your chair. But I can't do that because I have no legs to counteract that weight. So if I lean back, I'm going backwards. So it's literally a strict press. You could see I do kind of like a little dip bounce before I go into the press just to kind of build a little momentum, but it's, you're in a seated position. You got no leg drive. It's just a strict press.
Now, you did this in March, and anyone who wants to see the training for the world record is you're going to be in a wheelchair for 24 hours and see how far you can push.
Yep.
And how much do you think you've lost on your total since you've started this training in the last 4 months?
That'd be a fun test to do after, to see where I'd be at. I would say I've gone down considerably strength wise. I've lost probably close to 15 pounds
Yeah, your
Well,
face
March,
your face looks leaner, and you're way more vascular. I mean, you were already vascular and lean, but now you're getting
yeah,
crazy lean.
yeah, I'm definitely lean. I've found out like I just need to eat more, just because I'm burning so many calories when I train. Um, yeah, strength wise has definitely gone down, but cardio endurance has always been a weak point for me. So it's been fun to see progress. Like I was hammering away at CrossFit workouts, benchmark workouts, and I gained like a little ground here and there. But like by the time I do this world record, I've been solely training for it for like a year. And I've seen so much improvement in like cardio, my times, my mile times, stuff like that. So it's been fun.
What is the world record for the 1 mile in a wheelchair?
The
You
one
know?
mile, I'm not sure. I,
Okay.
I it's pretty fast. I think it's actually in a sprinter chair, which is like a three wheelchair you'll see at the Olympics. So I would
Oh
say
my
probably
goodness. 3 minutes and 7 seconds.
3 minutes and 7 seconds. Yeah. So those wheelchair sprinter chairs, and you can fly in those. It's insane.
Yeah, you'd think that, you would and he's in the guy, David Weir, actually it's in a race.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So those chairs, man, you can fly in those. It's awesome.
And that is not what kind of chair are you using? Are you using any tricked out chair?
Nope, I'm just using my everyday chair. So I'm using a regular wheelchair in the 24 hours. So people are like, why don't you use the sprinter chair? And I was like, 24 hours in that position right there would destroy me, like in my legs, just nerve pain. The guy that has the previous record did it in that chair. So it is possible. But I wanted to beat it and then do it in a chair to where other people can, not have the expense of 12 to $15,000 to try and attempt the record. I want to show people you can do it in an everyday chair and just go for it.
I know that there are official and unofficial records. We had Charlie Lawrence on here the other day, and he ran a race to try to break the 100-kilometer world record running, and he said that it wasn't an official time. They had like pacers and all this stuff, and I noticed that the record you're trying to break has a 113-mile distance traversed as the official world record and 132 for the not official. What's the difference in which one are you going for?
I'm going for both.
Okay.
So
Right.
the
Okay.
the official, yeah. Um, the official, yes, is 113, and that was officiated by Guinness.
Okay.
So it is on the Guinness website as the world record for the 24-hour distance. 2 or 3 years ago, there's a guy in India who did the record. Um, he got the 134, somewhere along those lines, miles in the 24 hours, and that's the unofficial. So he didn't get it. I believe he tried to get it officiated by Guinness, but something, maybe he didn't submit enough evidence, or something was off in his record attempt, so he didn't get it officiated. But I understand the complexity of getting a 24-hour event officiated. There's a lot of evidence that has to be submitted. So I was like, I'll honor that. Plus, I don't want someone out there saying they did more than me. So
So,
we're
so
the
yours will have you're jumping through the hoops to get the Guinness record also?
correct.
Do
Yeah.
they actually send someone out there, Mike?
So you can get someone sent out there. It's additional fees on top of, you know, to do that, to have an official there at the event. I won't have an official there at the event, but I have all the information I need to submit what I need to get it officiated.
What's the most difficult piece of that? Does it have to be videoed the whole time?
Um, so there is supposed to be like a static video of the attempt. It's kind of complicated and a lot of correspondence between me and Guinness as far as like what all do you need? Because I can set up a 24-hour video, but it's not going to see me the entire time.
Yeah, that's crazy to videotape someone or video someone for 24 hours.
Yeah, so there's different things you do. Like you need a logbook. You have to log your laps. You have to get somebody to survey the track if it's not on an official track of the distance of each lap. You have to log your rest times. So there's a lot that goes into it. Like even witness statements, stuff like that. So they're pretty thorough as far as if you're getting the record, you need to provide the evidence that it actually happened.
Is there some crazy backup shit you're having to do too? Like you'll have 2 wheelchairs there in case you have a malfunction in one. You'll have 2 Garmins, one on your wrist, one on the wheelchair. What are some of those crazy things?
Yeah, so I would say 2 Garmin's for sure, just in case one watch goes out or something. The logbook also is a very strong form of record keeping, because you have to have these people sign witness statements and log. So they'll compare the Garmin data to the logbook. The chair, yes, I will. Hopefully, I've haven't locked it in yet, but the company that makes my wheelchair has been really supportive. They sent me like new tires and casters and stuff for my chair and training. They've also told me they're interested in coming out to the attempt to have like extra parts ready to go in case something goes wrong. I have my coach out in San Diego's flying out. We'll have aid station set up, food, nutrition, everything. So a lot of planning has gone into this to make sure it runs smoothly, and yeah, we'll see.
You're like, I want to break the record, and all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, there's a lot of moving parts. What about
Yeah.
pacers? Are you going to be using a pacer? I know runners, it can be what Charlie was saying to break the 100-kilometer world record. You can have a pacer in the beginning, but you can't switch out pacers.
Mm.
Do they have that rule for your record?
So
And I don't think his was. I don't know if his was Guinness or his was like around some sort of track and field organization. I don't remember who was giving him his rules.
I don't see anything as far as like the rules of saying like I can't have pacers or I can only have one pacer. So that is a question I shot to them recently, and I'm still waiting to hear back on. Um, but as far from what I've seen that they already had pre-written out, I can have pacers. I can have people on the course with me, which is what I'm hopeful for. I'd love to have people run with me or roll with me if they want to. Like I want to open up the
Or
course.
bike. I think it is legal for the runners to have bikes with them.
Yeah. So my coach will want to be out there a lot with me, and he's not going to be running that the whole time. So to have him on a bike to kind of be in my ear when I need him will be nice. So I'm hopeful of a lot of different options to kind of make it a event because we're trying to raise money for veterans while we're doing this attempt. So I want to provide it's not just a world record, it's kind of like a community thing. So
And he also said that he did his race in Italy, and they started at midnight. It was in the summer, and they started at midnight. It was a 6-hour race, and he said within the first hour he had to take a deuce. And he said all the runners have to stop and take deuces. He said they would just go over they were on a Porsche racetrack, and they would just go over to the the guard, the rail, and just hang their ass over and drop a deuce. Do you have plans for that? Like, what do you do 24
yeah.
hours, like stop? What do you do? He said they just shit on the course.
Yeah, I mean, if you're committed enough to performing well, you just got to go where you got to go. I have set up plans to where I don't have to do that. So
Those are not going to work, Mike.
yeah. Hey, if they go out, man, they go out.
Right.
I'll have some extra shorts ready, and
Yeah.
we'll do what we got to do. But the course I have set up currently, and I hope it really works out because it would be so awesome. I'm actually doing the attempt as of right now on a Army base flight line.
Oh.
So
What's a
I
flight
will
line? That's a
just
airstrip.
an airstrip taxiway. That's local here in San Antonio. So, oh man, that's a pre-released announcement. I haven't announced
Uh-oh.
that yet. Um, but as of
What
right
about
now,
the heat out there? Won't the heat be insane on an airstrip?
it can be. I'm hoping in November it won't be so bad.
Okay.
But yeah, the heat is definitely going to be a factor. But I wanted to keep it in my hometown to have, I got a lot of support here and a lot of family. So, um, it'd be a good place to do it. So they'll give me 24-hour access to the airstrip and the taxiway. And at the end of the taxiway is like a small building where there's bathrooms. And I'll
Okay.
set up the end of my loop. The aid station will be at the end of the loop, and then I'll have the bathrooms right there. So 24-hour clock, like I'm gonna have to use the restroom. I'm gonna be drinking tons of water and stuff. And it's just a quick roll in and roll out. So
Um, and at the end, would you just go around a cone?
essentially, yeah, we'll set up cones for kind of like my turn points and stuff. But anything off the course doesn't count. So you want those aid stations and the restrooms like as close as possible, because once I get off the course, that distance doesn't count. So that's where you
Um,
see guys like taking a deuce on the
right,
course because they're like, oh, I don't want to go too far off.
right. Yeah,
Um,
he said they just did it right on the course. You
yeah,
just
yeah. I believe it, man. I believe it.
And how long is each way?
So it's kind of short. It's one distance is like 0.7 miles. So a down and back is a mile, 1.4 miles. So I'll be doing well over 100 laps on the current course that we have set.
And I think I saw a video where in 12 hours you did 78 miles.
75.2 miles. Yeah.
Okay, 12 hours, 75 miles. What happens to your is that a steady when you get that 75 miles, is that a steady pace or did your time start waning? Your speed start waning?
It did start waning at the end. I think in the beginning I was holding a good sub 8:30 mile pace. So I kind of treat it like a backyard ultra. Are you familiar with backyard ultras
No,
where you
no.
okay. So a backyard ultra is kind of like you do a certain amount of miles an hour. So like 4 or 5 miles an hour, and then you get to rest the remainder of that hour. So say you finish in 45 minutes, you rest
Okay.
for 15 minutes, and then you go back out and you do the same loop. I'm treating this record very similar. It's 24-hour effort. So I'm my current goal is to hit 6 miles in an hour, and then I get that remainder of the hour to rest. So say I finish in 50 minutes, I have 10-minute rest. Um, I use as little of that as possible in the beginning hours because I want to bank it for when I get super tired at the end. So I get 10-minute rest that first hour. I try and use like 2 or 3 minutes, and then I go back out. So it's very we've tried different things to where I've gone like 2 3 hours without resting, and then I take like a long break, and then my pacing just goes way down. So that consistent break like every hour has been beneficial as far as like maintaining a pace.
Um when I nap a lot, and if I go over like a 25-minute nap, the rest of the day's shot. Is it like that also? Or you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, it's like I wake up and I feel like I have jet lag. So, like,
Yeah.
usually I'll set my alarm for 25 minutes so I don't oversleep. Is it something like that? Is it some sort of phenomenon like that? Like, if you rest too much, like something happens to the system, it goes into some state that can't get revved back up?
For sure. There is definitely a too long of amount of rest, especially on like this kind of effort. If I'm creeping into anything like close to 20 minutes, things start happening in my body. Like I'll start cramping up a little bit. I'm like, I need to keep moving to let my brain and my body know like we're not done yet, so it's really consistent movement, like enough break to get the heart rate down, to get some fuel in, some water, and then keep going. So no naps for me really, unfortunately, over the next when I do the 24 hour.
Will 12 be your longest attempt before the 24-hour attempt?
Yeah, so 12 will be my longest test. We consider doing a 16, but those long attempts really push. Like it takes me a while to recover from that. It took me about a week and a half to recover from that, and it would kind of be a detriment uh, going into the 24 hour. I'm looking at hopefully, I want to do this attempt before the end of the year. So, and that kind of amount of rest would be detrimental to me being ready for when I do the attempt. So, 12 hour will be my longest test. I got a lot of good data from my coach and how my body reacts. And we pushed through the night. We started at 7 p.m. and ended at 7 a.m.
Okay.
So I got that night stimulus of like, I'm tired. I want to go to bed, but I got to keep pushing. So I think we hit everything we needed to, and yeah, going beyond 12 hours, I think would do me more harm than good at this point.
I had a buddy yesterday who called me. He had just finished a 36-hour race. It was
Jesus.
like it was hiking and like shooting objects out on the course. And he called me when he got back home when he was getting off the plane. He could barely stand up out of the plane. I don't think there was any running in this race. It was just carrying your gun for 36 hours and shooting shit. And he said his feet were like completely covered in blisters and hamburger meat, and his body just destroyed. Is that basically what you felt after 12 hours just from being in the chair?
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of fatigue that sets in on long efforts. Like, and that's kind of something we have figured out too with my training is like, okay, what goes first? Like, what really
Mm, mm.
destroys me on these long pushes that I'm doing? It's not my arms hold up pretty well, surprisingly. So my shoulders will get sore. My wrists are really what kind of goes first. Just that
Mm.
constant like pushing and flicking of the wrist when you push. My
It's
lower
this
back.
movement, Mike? It's this? Is this? Is
Yeah.
it that?
So
Up and
it's
down?
kind of
Okay.
like push,
Like
and then you have to go back to get ready for the next one.
and you bend your
Um,
wrist back like that every
yeah.
time for it to reach. Okay.
So just that constant fatigue, like the tendons like fire up. Like I get this nasty like knot in my forearm right here. So my back blows up. Sitting down for an extended period of time like sucks. My chair is not built for comfort. It is more of like a higher end wheelchair. So like on those short breaks that I get, I usually try when it does start really bothering me, I'll get out, lay on the ground, kind of stretch out a little bit, and um, then get back in it and keep going. So
How old are you?
37.
Um, when you, I'm assuming there's a range of motion thing that happens too. You start and it's like medium, and then at some point when you're completely warmed up, you're reaching back even further, and then at some point your range of motion starts to really shorten.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like anything, you start fatiguing, that range of motion starts going out the window. So yeah, I warm up probably like mile 4 or 5, and my pace goes up from when I initially start. But once I really start getting tired, that range of motion goes down. I have to push harder to keep the pace going that I want. So, as my goal for this is, I want to beat the official and the unofficial. So I need to maintain. I think the unofficial, his pace was like 5.5 miles per hour. So my goal is to always maintain above 6 an hour. And that'll put me at anywhere from the goal is 144 is 6 miles an hour for 24 hours. But I really want to hit 150, and that will destroy me. I hit 75 at 12-hour. That means I need to do that again for another 12 hours, and that will, yeah. So that's kind of my personal goal as far as miles I want to hit. So to maintain that will take a lot more wrist strength, being smarter with my nutrition, resting properly when I can, and all that fun stuff.
Have you talked to the guy who any of the guys who had made this attempt and gleaned any
No,
wisdom off of them? No.
yeah, the original guy, the original record hasn't been broken in almost 20 years. It was back in 2007.
Oh shit.
And I couldn't find any information on him. I tried looking up the guy in India. There is some footage of him doing the attempt, like news outlets and stuff. He did some like interviews and stuff. So I kind of got some ideas for him on the course. I also talked to a female, just beat the record for females of 24-hour pushing a chair this year. So I actually talked to her quite a bit. I think she got just over 100 miles in
Is
24
this
hours.
Anna Louise Svensson, 102 miles?
Yeah, I think she goes
April. It says
by.
April of 2025.
Yeah, that should be it. Yeah.
Are all the record holders people who live in wheelchairs? Like that's their primary mode of transportation? Are there any ambulatory people who?
So if somebody really wanted to, it in the rules it actually says like as long as you're seated in the chair the entire time, you can do the record.
Yeah. Wow.
So I don't know if there's like room for, can someone able-bodied do this as long as they
Yeah.
stay in the chair the entire time? But you do have to provide like some form of like physical disability. Like you have to, show like this, you have a need for a wheelchair. So I got comforted by that. I was like, some dude like super strong upper body is going to come smoke this record. But
How long have you been in a wheelchair?
2012, so 13 years.
I don't know, man. If someone tried it, they might who doesn't have a lot of experience in a chair might have some like lifelong injuries.
Yeah, I think at this point, like my arms or my legs, like I've built up such a
They look like them.
tolerance. Yeah, called my triceps. They're not biceps, they're triceps. So yeah, to build up a tolerance of that kind of volume takes a long time. So I think it would be cool to see some very experienced runners like try to push in a wheelchair and maintain a similar pace that I'll do on this attempt and see what that looks like. But yeah.
What's the motivation, the inspiration, kind of both like why you're doing it and and where the idea came from?
Yeah, so kind of where it came from, I think it all stems from I kind of developed this mentality of like I always want to find ways of self-improvement, and I've kind of stuck to that. And it started with competing in CrossFit, and kind of came to be from there. Like I've always been a coach. I'll always say I'm a coach first before I'm an athlete. And to be a good coach, I like to lead by example. I never want to ask like one of my athletes to do something I haven't done. So I've kind of made this deal with myself of always putting myself in uncomfortable situations of trying something new. And that started with CrossFit, doing a lot of different movements I hadn't done before that were very foreign to me, like gymnastics and barbell stuff. There was a point in time where I didn't know a seated deadlift was even possible. And then I started hanging out with Kevin Ogar. I was like, okay, sweet, I can go do this stuff. And I was like, okay, I think CrossFit has given me what I need in a fitness base to go out and do some of these other things that I want to do. And I saw this world record years ago, but like I said, I don't think it in line with what I was training for in CrossFit. Like I needed I needed to maintain like complete focus on this goal. Um, and I sucked at it. That's why I chose it. I sucked at cardio. I always hated cardio. And I was like, this would be a real challenge for me. And if I give myself enough time and train hard enough, I think I can go out there and crush it and try something new. So that's where it kind of stemmed from, as far as just like, I like trying new things that are way out of my comfort zone, and I can kind of see how I can handle it. And the 24-hour aspect is like, it's mental more so than physical. Like I like putting myself in situations where I kind of discover I'm like, do I have what it takes to not quit? You know, and I'm a pretty stubborn person, so I like the idea of getting in the pain cave and being stuck there for a while, and uh, see what you're made of, kind of thing.
Do you have a date?
I don't have an official date yet. I have an idea. It's kind of looking like early November is probably my goal. As far as time frame, that really comes down to Guinness and the venue of where I'm doing the attempt. So once I have like the nod from both of those people, on the locked in date, then we'll lock it in and I'll announce it, and have some people out and hit some miles.
Did we find out if he's single? You are not single.
I am not, sorry. I am happily married with a 2-year-old daughter and a son on the way.
Oh, congratulations. Wow.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I'm looking at November, is because my son is actually due at the end of October. So we're about to have a very full house. So yeah.
Matt, what happened to his legs? We did a 3/4 of a podcast. I can't remember if it was my internet that went out or yours, but we got disconnected. Do you want to tell people roughly, give them the...
Yeah, sure. So I was in the Marine Corps from like 2008, 2014, deployed with 1st Battalion, 8th Marines, to Afghanistan, as a squad leader. So while we were out there, it was crazy. Lot of combat, a lot of action, and on a patrol I was on, I stepped on an IED, improvised explosive device, and instantly became bilateral amputee. Hip fractured in like 3 places, messed up my arm. So a lot of different injuries I had to deal with. Over 40 surgeries. I had to go through months in the hospital, about a year rehabilitation. So it was a long road to recovery, but I'm still here, and making the most of it. So
How close were you to dying, Mike?
it was very close. I didn't realize how close it was until I had people that worked on me reach out to me to like check up on me, and they're like, just to see their reaction that I was still alive was insane. I had one of the nurses that had eyes on me, initially, like the first place I landed, and um, we met in person like months after I was back in the States, and she was just like, I didn't think you were gonna make it. Like I was put in a medical induced coma, because when I'd wake up, I would like attack people or something, and I was just like in such a bad state that they really didn't think I was gonna make it. Um, when the injury happened, I was like fully aware too, and I felt like, you know, it's. I obviously don't know what dying's like, but it felt pretty close to like that's what was happening. So
It must be pretty insane to be a doctor and a dude show up with half his body gone, and to
yeah,
think that you're actually going to save them. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you would just assume that if someone had half their body removed from them, that would be it.
yeah. Those doctors and people out there are like some of the best in the world at and my guys too, like if they didn't throw tourniquets on my legs within like a minute, like I would have been gone. I probably would have bled out in a matter of minutes. So the chances of survival were so slim. Like I'm in the middle of nowhere in a desert in a war zone. I got thrown on a helicopter, travel time to, those doctors and being able to work on me and keep me alive. It was, the chances were very slim, but we're still here. So
Was anyone else injured in the explosion?
yeah, so I actually, it's hard to talk about him, but my interpreter, Niazi, was injured when I was. So he was, um, he was injured probably a couple minutes after I was. So he also was hit by an IED. Usually, when there's one, there's several in the general vicinity, just because panic and whatnot. And he stepped on another ID and lost both his legs as well, and hurt his arm as well. But yeah, so he was the only injury on that day in my unit. But we lost guys close by that day too. So yeah.
Mike, what ended up? This was in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You made a very strong post here.
That's why I said it was hard to talk about.
He has five children and a wife. Can you tell me what eventually happened to him?
So yeah, a few months ago, Niazi's a great dude, so I'll take any opportunity to talk about him and share his story.
Thank you.
Yeah. But it is so hard because it was so recent. So this year, I got the unfortunate news that Niazi was actually murdered. So he, backstory, moved back from that. He came to the U.S. Got his citizenship. He went to college. Got a degree and built a family here. Him and his wife had 5 children. Um, you know, and he did more than most could say in their lifetime on wanting to be a positive impact in the world. So he moved to Houston, very short distance from me. I'm in San Antonio. So we would always kind of check up on each other over the years and see how we're doing. And he devoted his life to, helping people, you know, Afghan individuals get citizenship, or if they wanted to go back to Afghanistan, he would help them in any way, shape, or form as far as what their needs were. So he devoted his life to that towards the end. And I guess there was an individual who was very unhappy with the process and how long it was taking. And he just he ended up killing Niazi, and he
In
lost his life
Houston. In
in
Houston.
Houston. Yeah, yeah. Um, for a guy to go through all that and survive all he did and
Yeah.
devote his life, in a positive way to help people, and for that to happen is just like unspeakable. So
Did they catch the guy who did it?
yeah, he was caught same day. So thankfully he's behind bars, and they're still working through as far as sentencing and all that. But yeah, it was still a very hard thing to comprehend and deal with. Such an incredible human being and leaving behind such a beautiful family. So yeah.
How long? So you're deployed, and then they'll say to you, to your, I don't know what you call it, your troop or your group of guys, your crew, they'll be like, "Hey, this is Niazi. He's now in your group, and he's going to help you talk to locals on your job." Is
Yeah.
it like that?
Essentially, yeah. So there's a few interpreters that we utilize to go in rotation. It's kind of like, you know, some of them need a break, so it's not like you get the same guy every time. But I worked with Niazi a lot. When I was deployed, we were a helo company, so we would fly out to these combat zones and we would set up shop for anywhere from like 2 3 days to like 2 weeks. And a lot of those ops I had Niazi with me. So I got very familiar with who he was and the kind of person he was. And so we would go out and meet the locals, talk to them, gather intelligence on where the Taliban was hiding or where they were stashing weapons and stuff like that. And very quickly I discovered, I was like, this dude is the real deal. Like, he has such a passion to, for his country and to make it a safe place for villagers and stuff like that. Like, I have footage of him being like, "Hey, there's this, villager over here that has a hurt knee. Can we go help him?" And so we take our corpsman, our doctor out there and go work on him, check him out. So yeah, I worked with Niazi a lot, and we there's very few, like, most people who deploy that worked with an interpreter understand, like, when you have a good interpreter, it's like, it's a godsend out there. You can make a huge impact on the community and the locals. And yeah, that was Niazi.
Um, how many? You said you were in from 2000. What were the years you were in 2000?
2008 to 2014.
And how many days did you spend deployed? Do you know?
um so I did a lot of deployments. I only did one combat deployment. My combat deployment was about 6 months. But my first 3 years, I was with a unit called FAST, Fleet Anti-Terrorism Security Team. And basically, our job was to secure embassies that were under threat. Um,
Wow.
but U.S. embassies don't get under threat a lot because people usually don't make a habit of attacking them. So we did a lot of different other deployments. I went to Guantanamo, Cuba. I was stationed in Spain for a while as kind of like our base of operations in Europe and Africa if stuff popped off there. Uh, did some time in Bahrain. So, and then I did some like extra security stuff like stateside. So I spent more time like deployed than I did at home.
Mm.
But a lot of those deployments were just like, hey, post up for security and, keep this area secure.
You were a just in case. Your group was a just in case kind of group.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Um, and can you tell me like what like just a generic mission is like? Is it like, hey, there's a house over there. We need you to watch it for a week, and then they fly you out there put you down a mile from the house and you watch it? Is it stuff like that, or don't let anyone pass through this road, and then you guys go and block the road? Or what's
Yeah.
it look like to us people who don't know?
Um, Essentially, like, we would take control of an area it was just like posting up security. So we would set up like um, you know, whatever it looked like on the mission at hand, and we would just provide security. So it wouldn't necessarily be like, hey, this is a target area. We need to gather intelligence on that, because that wasn't really our
I meant for
forte.
sorry, Mike. I meant for the 6 month deployment, the one where you were
Six
in
months.
combat.
So
Was that one in particular? When you would go out, what would be a typical?
yeah. So we would, for Afghanistan, we were helo company, like I said. So we would fly out. We would have intelligence on where the enemy was at. So yeah, sometimes we did night insertions, 2 days, be like, hey, they're here. Let's go in and kick them out. And some days it would be like, hey, we know bomb makers in this area. We need to, clear out and push them back. It was essentially just constantly pushing back the enemy to gain more ground. And a big push when I was there was training the Afghan National Army and police on how to do what we were doing. So I constantly had 3 members from both, so Afghan National Army and Afghan National Police, with my squad, and we would train them and show them how we operated. So when we took control of an area, they can set up and hold that ground, and then we would push forward again. So that was, I think, a big responsibility for my unit when we were there in 2012. And yeah, we would get these missions of like, hey, we know there's a weapon cache somewhere in this area. We need to sweep it, figure out where it is. My squad actually found one of the largest caches, weapon caches in Helmand province, with like tunnel systems and crazy weapon systems. And, so our job was to secure an area, push them back, train people how to hold that area, and then keep moving forward. So
And then grab all the intel and shit and send it back.
exactly. Yeah.
Crazy. And then people didn't like that, and then so there was fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was peak it was peak fighting season for them. So when it comes time to harvest poppy, they fight for it. So that's their moneymaker as far as like, getting weapons and everything else. So they fought hard for it, and there were certain times of the year they fought harder than others. So yeah.
When you go out to break this world record and you have a date set, what if the weather goes to shit?
The weather goes to shit. I
And
mean,
you
hopefully,
push forward.
yeah. Once I start, it starts. Like weather-wise,
Because weird shit can happen in Texas, right? Weird shit can
yeah.
happen. Like you guys have like anything can happen there.
For sure, yeah. When weather, like inclement weather, isn't too common in Texas, but when it does happen, it's like crazy. So that is a question, like I kind of threw by them too. I was like, hey, if there's like a huge storm coming in on these days that I set, can I push it until the storm passes and then run it? I think there is some wiggle room, but if I start and for some reason this freaky storm appears, like I have to keep going. The clock is the only thing that matters in that record. Is I have 24 hours to get as far as I can. So it would suck. But I have pushed through some rain, so I can push through some rain, some light thunderstorms I can handle. But if wind starts blowing sideways, that's kind of a game changer. So
Mike, what about your hands, blisters and shit like that from 24 hours of friction on them? What's the plan there?
yeah, so like you were saying, your friend that did that 36 hike
Yeah.
and shooting, like blisters on the feet, everything like that. Is, my hands or my feet essentially when I'm doing this push. So my hands get tore up, and I get blisters. My hands will split open. I had like severe swelling. So things I've found to counteract that is I wear gloves, wear lots of gloves. I'll have different kinds of gloves that I can swap out like every few hours because I need dry gloves. Like I'll sweat
Yeah.
like crazy in them. So about every like 4 to 6 hours, I'll swap out gloves. Taping blisters and what have you. So icing my hands if I get a long enough break to try and keep the swelling down. But yeah, it's at a certain point, it hurts. Like every time you push, you're like, this sucks. But your hands still work, and you got 24 hours to get as far as you can. So you just keep pushing.
Are you, I know you set the goal and you're like, okay, I'm going to take a year off. But now that the CrossFit Games are about on us, is any part of you getting a little bit like, oh shit, I wish I was doing this?
Yeah, I miss it, man. I miss the community. I miss that environment. There's something to say about the adaptive CrossFit spaces. Um, they I will say I've never been complimented so more with my desire to, be the best version of myself than in that space. Um, Meeting some of those people and hearing their stories, you're like, holy crap, dude. Like
Yeah.
these people are amazing. And I do miss it. But that's why I'm still going out there to be a part of it, because I believe in what they're doing. I believe I hope it's a sport that continues to grow, because I think there's a lot of kids out there that could watch this and be like, holy crap, mom and dad, I want to go to a CrossFit class. Like, look at these guys doing what they're doing, and they're still making the most of their life. I think it's such a positive impact. And I mean, even if you don't have a disability, you see dudes with, one arm snatching a barbell over their head. You're like, holy crap, like there's a guy that is doing that. Why can't I go to the gym?
Yeah. Why can't I do
Um,
that with two?
yeah, exactly. So um, the adaptive CrossFit space is, one of the most welcoming, and like uh, it's a funny place to where it's just like no one owes you anything, and you go out there and do it. Like no one's gonna help you or treat you differently. I think that was the thing I loved about it the most, was like you go out in your day to day and everybody like holds the door open for you, or can I help you with your bags? And you go to a CrossFit gym, they're like, weights are over there, go set it up yourself. You got an hour just like everyone else.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love it. So that's why I'm going out there still. I want to see the sport grow. I want to see it, continue to make an impact, and I love it.
Where, what you said, where's home for you? San Antonio is home for you.
San Antonio, yeah.
And isn't that the home of, doesn't the military have something there for injured soldiers that's like the main hub? Is that San Antonio?
Yeah, we have a few bases here. Lackland is here. BAMC is probably our biggest like hub for injured military service members. That's where I did my rehabilitation, was here in San Antonio. Center for Intrepid is one of the best medical facilities, prosthetic facilities in the world. Is here in San Antonio. So there's a lot of adaptive community here, a lot of military presence. So we've found a lot of success in, running adaptive programs here. Morgan's Wonderland is also here, is a fully adaptive theme park for
No,
kids.
no shit.
Yes. Yeah,
Wow.
you should look it up. It's insane.
What's it called?
Morgan's Wonderland.
Wow.
So day one of the games last year was at Morgan's Wonderland. So they have one of the coolest features they have at their park is a set of swings, and each swing is meant for a different disability, to where you could still swing your kid. Like
Wow.
there's one where if you're on an electric wheelchair, you can still drive the electric wheelchair up on the swing, and you have two bars, and you can push them on the swing.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, it's amazing. And they have, like a regular playground has, the structures where your kid can run around and jump on platforms and stuff, but a guy in a wheelchair like can't get up there, right? Like I can't go play with my daughter on a playground. If I go to Morgan's, they have ramps that are wide enough to where two wheelchairs can pass each other, and I can go chase my daughter around the playground at Morgan's. So it's, like I said, this is a mecca for kind of setting the standard as far as like what could be possible. Yeah. Um, being a more inclusive space and letting people live their lives, because just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't mean shouldn't be able to go play with your kid at a park, right?
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Hey,
So
what
I
about?
actually
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
run an adaptive program that is Morgan's helped create at my CrossFit gym. I don't have hands on as much as I used to on the program. It's co-run with Morgan's Wonderland and Texas Parasport, but 2 times a week we have anywhere from 20 to 30 people in our CrossFit gym doing CrossFit, and it's open and free to everyone. And Morgan's helped create that. So
Oh, that's cool. Hey, and
yeah.
don't you have, Mike? Don't you have? Tell me about. Is it called ATA?
ATA, yeah, Adaptive Training Academy.
What is that?
So we are a certification course where it's kind of like extra knowledge for working with the adaptive community on safety, efficacy, just really getting into the weeds as far as like, when say I roll into a CrossFit gym and there's like max back squat on it, I can't squat. What am I going to do? Right. We teach the modifications and proper scaling for the adaptive community. And we certify coaches on, what how to properly work with, because fitness is for everyone. Like, just because you have a disability doesn't mean you should go out there and perform at your highest capability. So we run a 2-day in-person seminar. We have online courses you can take to get certified, and we break down how to work with different forms of disabilities and get them out there and get them moving.
Is this your academy?
No, so I am part of the seminar staff. So it is not mine itself, but I've been on seminar staff for probably about 2 years now. So yeah,
Are you
there's
are you guys
look,
busy? Is there a demand for this?
I would say this past year we were traveling at least once a month.
Oh
Um,
shit! Wow.
yeah, we were traveling to different states, uh, hosting seminars. We just came back recently from running a 5-day course for the VA, working with veterans. Um, we worked with almost or over 200 veterans over 5 days. We usually run our seminars about once a month. Sometimes we'll do 2 in a month of just fly out for a weekend, teach for 2 days, and then get them certified. And we create essentially a map to where if someone with a disability was like, "Hey, I want somebody who's a little more in tune with working with the adaptive community," they can go on our website and type in and be like, "Is there an ATA certified trainer in my area?" And we'll pop up. And they'll see which CrossFit gym they're at, and they can go to that gym and work with someone who has a little bit more experience.
I reckon this cat on the left here. He's a commentator for the CrossFit Games, right? I've seen
Yeah,
him for
Tom.
sure. Tom.
Tom
Okay.
Yazga, great
Tom.
guy. Kicked my butt every year at the game, so I love him and I hate him at the same time. Um, Tom's great, man. He's one of the nicest people you meet. I always say I wish he wasn't so nice. I could hate him more, but he really is the nicest dude. And uh, yeah, so he's competing this year, and I'm commentating. So that'll be a fun event when he takes the floor. But yeah, so we've been working together for 2 years, and we travel all over the U.S. and wherever, running these seminars.
And the seminars aren't for necessarily adaptive athletes. They're for anyone who wants. You could be an adaptive athlete, but it could be anyone who wants to work
Right.
with the adaptive community.
Right. It's for coaches.
Coaches, correct? Okay,
Yeah.
just want to be clear, right?
So
But
our
obviously,
course.
if you're not a coach and you're an athlete and you take it, you'll still glean a lot of super relevant training information.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're not if you're an adaptive athlete and you're not competing in the CrossFit space, like, you'll learn a lot if you take the course. But it's mainly geared towards coaches who want, like, you take the average CrossFit athlete or CrossFit coach, and you have someone roll into a gym in a wheelchair, and they already know their workout of the day, right? They know their normal briefing. If someone random just came walking in, they'd be like, okay, let me do your waiver and everything, and it's not that big of a deal. But you throw in some form of physical disability on somebody coming into your gym, you're like, oh crap, like I'm having people do air squats in the warm up. Like, what do I do? So
Right.
we we just teach people how to keep it flowing and how to not make that person feel excluded. Like, um, I I went to a CrossFit gym when I was in college, and it was the worst experience I've ever had. Worst experience I ever had.
Let's
Uh,
hear it. I want to hear it. I want to hear
yeah.
it.
So I had a friend of mine was just like, "Hey, go check out this CrossFit gym. It's great. They're really military friendly." Like I was like, I don't know CrossFit at the time. I was just bro lifting in the gym, and I was like, "All right, I'll go check it out. They're military friendly, whatever." So I go in there, and they're like doing their warm up. I don't remember the workout, but they had to do some running in the workout. And I go talk to the coach. I was like, hey, so and so told me to come check it out. He's like, cool, sweet. He's like, well, we got to run. So there's this, assault bike over here. You can hop on that while we go run. I was like, cool. So I get on the assault bike.
Why did he have you get on the assault bike? You had your legs then, didn't you?
I had my legs on, but
Oh, you had lost your legs already at that point.
yeah. So this was
Okay.
this was
Okay.
post injury. This
Okay.
was
Okay.
probably like 2017, sometime around there, 2016, 2017. So post injury. Um, and I was just like, oh, I was like, I can't use my prosthetics on the bike. So I tried just like moving the arms. Um, and the dude just forgot about me. I don't know if he forgot about me or he didn't know what to do with me.
Yeah.
So they continued like doing the workout. And I
And
was
you're
just
just
like,
over there on the bike figuring
I'm
it
just over
out?
there on the bike by
Oh,
myself.
shit.
And the class ends, and he's just like, all right, so do you want to sign up for a membership? And I was like, for what? I was
Yeah.
like, you
Yeah.
didn't coach me, you left me in this corner. Like, I had the worst workout I think I've ever had. No, I will not give you my money, and I will never do CrossFit again.
Hey,
um
it seems like the barrier to get, because probably the bar is so low in dealing with adaptive athletes that they're probably the easiest clients to get once you get them in the room. If you just fucking give like two fucks, like all he had to do is come over and say to you, right?
yeah,
Hey, Mike, I've never had someone in here without legs before. Can you help me out? Like, what are some things you like for warming up? And let me see, like, just have a fucking 2-minute conversation with you, right?
right,
Especially while the
right,
class is out running.
yeah.
Like, it's
um
okay to not know, but to not give a fuck is, like, crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was just a shit person, and that was a very like isolated incident.
Right.
But also, it was just like like you said, just show him you care, or be like, I don't know exactly what I need to do, but let's try and figure out some stuff that you can do. And that didn't happen, so I completely wrote off CrossFit for years, and I was a personal trainer too when I was in college. I've been a personal trainer for over 10 years. And I got a client who had a disability. He had spina bifida. And he's like,
What's
hey, I
that?
want
Like,
to train
is
with
that
you.
a curvy
Yeah.
spine? Okay.
He's like, I want to train with you. I was like, I want to train you too, but I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know how to safely train you. So I'm going to go do some research. I'm going to take your information, and I'm going to go learn more. And then I'll contact you when I'm ready. And um, at this point, remember, I already had that terrible CrossFit experience. I was like, I'm not doing CrossFit ever again. And I look up different organizations that teach you how to work with people with disabilities, and I found ATA, Adaptive Training Academy, that I now work for.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I go, and I was like, oh, there's seminars at a CrossFit gym. I was like, it's probably because it's like open space, open floor plan. They'll just set up a seminar there. And then I start taking the course. I was like, this is CrossFit. Like this is functional movements 101. And at the time, Kevin Ogar was on the staff at ATA. And
that how you guys met? Oh shit! Wow.
so I start taking the course, and I go in there, and they're like, "Dude, you're huge. You should compete in CrossFit." And I was like, I don't know about that. Still had that nasty CrossFit taste in my mouth from that experience. And he's just like, "Why don't you stay for lunch and do a workout with us?" And so my first real CrossFit workout was with Kevin Ogar, and he smoked me,
You
and I
remember what
loved
it
it.
was? You remember what it was?
No, I would say we did. It was something simple, like it was just a 20-minute workout, probably like wall ball shots, maybe some U-turns, and I think ski erg is what we did. It was just an AMRAP, and I got smoked, and I was just like, "This is really cool." And then over the course of those 2 days, I learned a lot, and I was just like, this is what adaptive athletes should be learning. It's very functional, very, improve your day-to-day capabilities, your independence and all that. And yeah, so my first real CrossFit workout was with Kevin.
I went into a gym in LA once. It's the only bad CrossFit gym I've ever went into, and it was me and like 10 other people from HQ. We were in Los Angeles for some reason. We roll into this gym, and there's not even anyone there like to take our money. And there's this hottest chick you've ever fucking seen running the class, and she doesn't even say hi to us, doesn't shake our hands, nothing. And there's a really super attractive guy also like sitting in their office, and they give us the workout. They just tell us to warm up. We warm up on our own. And there was a girl there who wasn't with us, and it was her first day. She had never done CrossFit before, right? She was probably like 30 pounds, 40 pounds overweight. And the workout was something crazy. It had running and lunges in it. And it was so many fucking lunges with a 30-pound dumbbell in the front rack. And I was looking at this girl. I'm like, this girl's not gonna be able to fucking walk tomorrow. And while we were doing the workout, the super handsome guy had the super handsome girl on her shoulders, and they were just walking around flirting with each other. And then like 2 years later, I saw her competing in a semifinal. I'm like, what the it was true. It was like what you said. It was truly bizarre. Like you couldn't even make up how nothing it was.
Yeah.
It was like nothing. It was like we just went in there and used their equipment.
Yeah. And it's funny when stuff like that happens, but you had experience in the CrossFit space, so you're like, oh, it's an isolated incident. Like
crazy isolated, crazy. Yeah. Usually it's the opposite. Someone's just like on you so much, you're like, yo, motherfucker, I know what I'm doing. I've been working out for 10 years. I mean, usually it's like you get such hands-on.
But imagine that girl who's her first time in the gym, and she sees that, she's like, CrossFit people are nuts. I'll never do this again.
She for sure didn't walk the next day. She for sure did not walk. Can you imagine doing weighted lunges? I mean, it was shitloads of them.
Yeah, that's insane.
In a parking lot. I mean, it was, it was brutal.
Yeah.
What about these, Mike? What's going on with these? What's going on with these things?
Let's see.
I only see you using these in there's a really funny video of you like trying to run in like the super ones, and like you're all over the place laughing and you're falling forward. You got the rope on you, but is that something that do you fuck with those?
Occasionally. So they prosthetics have kind of taken a backseat just because I spend anywhere from like 12 to 15 hours just training for the world record. And I just don't have the energy to throw the legs on, but I'll still wear them occasionally. Like if I say I need to go to like grocery store or quick outing, like I can throw them on, not bring my chair, and then come home. But I haven't built up the tolerance to really use them on a consistent basis.
What is your core just being crushed right there?
Oh yeah, like lower back core is just murdered, because I'm in such a relaxed position sitting down, and I'm like, I use my core so much more when I'm trying to walk that it's just like, it destroys me.
So that's like a really challenging thing you're doing right there.
For sure. For
And
sure.
it looks like you're concentrating like a mofo, like you're solving an algebra problem.
That's it. It's a lot of focus, man. Just imagine if you all of a sudden I slap on stilts on you that bend, and that's your point of contact to the ground. You feel like you're at any moment gonna fall. Like it's just, yeah, it's a little terrifying. But with time and a lot of energy devoted towards it, it gets easier. But it's very challenging.
Is it something you want to do? Like, is that a goal? It seems like that would be a crazy goal.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get it to where I could go through the majority of the day, not like the full day in prosthetics. I mean, because you could see that's like max speed right there of me walking. Like I could clear the gym in a third or three times faster in a wheelchair and get around and do what I need to do. Um,
So
it's
there's a huge patience and time component to this. This is
for
like learning
sure.
a whole new. This is like someone else learning how to walk on their hands from scratch.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
And then
yeah, that's
saying
a
you're
that's
gonna
a good
and then
comparison.
you're
Like
gonna spend the
learn to
rest of the time
handstand
on your
walk.
hands. That's the only way you're gonna get around. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So it is a commitment, but it's also a challenge, which is not something I shy away from. So I just kind of it has taken a backseat currently just for this world record stuff, but I'll definitely be trying to use them a little bit more. And the running blades too were a fun challenge, but
How much are those? Those look expensive as shit.
how much do you think they are?
I mean, a really nice bike is probably like, $10,000. I'm guessing they're at least $10,000.
So there's a computer in that knee, so take that into consideration too. Like it's not just a
Are those
uh
carbon? Those look nuts. They're It's like art. They're like art.
yeah. So those legs are the X4s made by Autobach. They're fairly new model. One of those one of those legs alone costs $150,000.
Oh shit! You have a $500,000 worth of $250,000, third of a million
So
dollars of
so
hardware.
so both my legs are $300,000.
Dude, someone might just fucking try to steal those
I
from
know.
you.
I'm gonna go lock them up right now. Somebody's gonna break into my house.
Oh my goodness. I mean, dude, they're truly remarkable looking. They're beautiful.
Yeah, they're awesome, and what they can do is incredible. So you can do like different modes. Like I know people who drive a stick shift with those, or people go golfing with them. They have like a golf mode. So I mean, the capabilities are getting a lot more possible as far as what you can do in prosthetics. But it is not, if I wasn't in the military and got those provided to me from the VA, there's no way I would spend $300,000 on those. You know, you can get mechanical knees and do a lot of what you could walk, but those are very advanced, very fancy prosthetics for sure.
When humans with legs, the way we ideally create locomotion is we lean forward and we start to, and then you just catch yourself. You know what I mean? Like if every time right before I start walking, I just lean forward a little and then I just start moving, like a segue. Do you do that with these two? Is it like you lean forward and then you start going
So
and then
not
catch yourself?
necessarily. There are some because there is no like you can lean forward because you can counteract that lean with your ankles and your feet. Like
Right.
if I lean forward too far, I'm gonna fall forward.
Okay.
There are some prosthetics that are being created now that actually you can do that to where there's some ankle flexion in the foot as well. Like I get some ankle flexion, but there's ones that are being designed to where it's like almost to where they can assist you walking. Like it assists with the swing out and the landing, and you can kind of lean forward, and the prosthetic knows you're trying to go forward. But
Wow.
there, it's so like early days on those. It sounds like, and they're loud. It sounds like your RoboCop, like walking around. It's like,
Yeah.
zzz, zzz, zzz. But there's some cool stuff being created, man, and I'm hoping, you know, they continue to make innovations in prosthetics because it's wild, man.
I got some Solomons for my kid the other day. Usually we just get shoes from REI, and my kids only wear shoes when they play. You know, if it's sports specific, they do mostly fighting, so they're almost always barefoot, right?
Yeah,
But they play tennis, so they got special. You know, they have. I think that probably they're just regular shoes to most people, but I always think of it they're gearing up for their sport, and then they have shoes for skateboarding. And so the other day that we went somewhere and they didn't have shoes, we don't usually travel with shoes. So I went into an REI and I got him some Solomons, and he was like, "This is horrible." And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "I can't feel the ground." And I'm looking at you, and it's like you have no feed because they just are so used to getting feedback right from the ground on their
yeah,
feet. And I'm just like, holy shit, you have no feedback from your feet, your knees, your thighs. You have no you have like your point of contact gives you people don't realize it, but your point of contact gives you all the feedback to the brain so you can make the adjustments.
yeah. It's a very like when I first started walking, it was just it messed with me so bad because like it's hard to kind of describe what it's like to people, but I would say just like imagine you are lifted like 2 feet off the ground, you lock your legs, and I put some like stilts underneath you, right?
That
And
also
those
have a pivot point.
that also bend.
Yeah.
And so you have to swing that out, land, and then swing. You have to
Oh.
counteract that. So imagine that was your point of contact with the ground is like up above where your knee is.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, I see like single leg amputees and they walk everywhere and they don't seem to have the issue. It's a lot different when you're missing both knees because
Yeah.
you have no grounding. There is no signaling. It's just you're 2 feet off the ground with some metal legs underneath you, and you got to try and not fall. So
Do you have any um plans on this 24-hour attempt? Like where you put in headphones and you listen to David Goggins or you listen to some sermon to your favorite pastor, or do you have some plans like that for like motivation, or your wife to whisper
yeah,
something dirty in your ear, or I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I listen to music a lot. I try and just turn the brain off and kind of almost meditate like after a certain amount of time. Um, I like to have people, you know, it just kind of ebbs and flows. Like, you know, you go work out, you have different,
It's an
sometimes you
emotional
want to,
journey. I can only imagine 24 hours you're going to traverse some emotional landscapes that very few people have ever been in.
yeah, it's a ebb and flow, and you got to find what works for you in that moment because sometimes your soul's being crushed, like you're focusing on everything that hurts. Other times you'll get your second, third wind, and you're like, I'm, you know, can be at peace for like an hour, and then maybe the next hour I want to just like jam out to some heavy metal or something. Maybe I want some people out there on the course. It's kind of it's a journey. Like you go through different stages while you're out there, and you find what you need in that moment, and you just keep moving. So it's crazy.
Do you have stuff like that though? Do you have like motivational speeches or sermons from pastors or any shit like that, or like photos to look at?
Not really. You know, I'll put different like I'll listen to different stuff to kind of help keep me motivated or keep going. I'm a big music guy and I'll listen to pretty much anything. So I've just been like creating a playlist of different things that, you know, sometimes I listen to like classical music and it like calms me down, or you know, I want to get amped up. I'll have some like heavy metal on there, and you know, I kind of just try and find like a peaceful state of mind, and then hold on to it as long as I can, and yeah, just
On the
zone
tw-
out and go along for the ride.
on the 12-hour attempt, did you cry at all? Does it ever get that
Um,
emotional?
I did get emotional. I don't think I like physically cried. But it is an emotional experience, dude, to like push yourself to that point. You're like, you know, it's such a different environment to put yourself in of just like complete physical and mental exhaustion. And you really know, like, I wasn't even like halfway of what I need to do in 24 hours. So there was times where I was just like, I need to pull from something, and you pull from like past experiences or um, things you went through. Be like, okay, I got through this thing in my life. I can keep moving through this. It's just keep pushing one more time, one more time, one more time. And um, I've had a lot of different challenges in my life other than getting injured in Afghanistan. So I'll revisit like some of those times, and I'll realize I'm like, I got through a lot of hard stuff, and I just want to keep moving for myself, and I want to, inspire some other people to hopefully do the same, you know.
The two sports my kids play, and I know they're young, so emotions like are don't have a lot of experience processing them, but they do a lot of public fighting, going to tournaments where you got to fight other kids, and then tennis, which is a really lonely sport. Also, you're just out there by yourself, and the games are really long, but they have someone that they're going against, right?
Yeah.
And so, anytime you go to a tennis tournament or a fighting tournament, and there's kids, you see a lot of crying. Um, but with you, there's no one. It's just you. You
Yeah.
can't be like there's nothing stopping you but you. It must be a trip because it's like your best friend is also your enemy. Like you're telling you to stop or you can't do it, but it's also the guy who's going to get you through it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really just digging deep in yourself and realizing like no one's like the only thing, the only factor in this 24-hour attempt is the clock. Like if I wanted to, I could do like 2 miles and then just sit there for a day and do nothing. Like I'm the sole decider of how far I go and how much effort I put into it. And um, so it is challenge. That's why I said it's more mental than it is physical. Of just like the amount of pain I endure is self-inflicted, and I think putting yourself in a position where uh, you can train and push yourself, and it's self-chosen, is a room to improve as an individual. So, and that's what I want to do. I want to be a better version of myself, and uh, kind of see how far we can take it.
On that 12-hour attempt accomplishment, what was the longest you ever went without looking at the clock? Was there ever a time where you looked at it and then you looked again and 2 hours passed and you're like, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah. There was no 2 hour gaps. I would love it if I had like a 2 hour gap where I just zoned out. Um, I would say there was some times where I'd be like, okay, well, I got like a couple miles. That's cool, and I didn't really feel that. Um, but it was just, yeah. I mean, the course for me is such like a quick down and back to where like I kind of know where I'm at all times. There was a point where I didn't look at the clock anymore. Um, but when I don't look at the clock occasionally, like my pace slows down because I'll kind of,
Okay. Oh.
so I constantly kind of need that reminder like, oh crap, I slowed down a little bit on that one. I need to pick it up. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, when I was talking to Charlie Lawrence, the guy who he has the 50-mile world record, I was blown away at how much thinking is involved. I was thinking that, like, you could just go on autopilot, but, like, no, he's like, "Man, you're, like, conscious the whole time. You're making calculations, you're looking at times, you're like you have to stay on top of yourself." I was like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit, that must be exhausting."
Yeah, if you're competitive with your time, like if your goal is to just complete something, you could take a more relaxed approach to it. You're like, oh, I have, on those longer races, say you have like 12 hours to get through it. You're like, okay, I just want to complete. Cool. You can kind of take a more relaxed approach to it. But like if you're competitive and want to finish at a good time, you're constantly thinking about your pace, when you need to break, how long you break, what you need to eat every hour to keep
Yeah.
moving, how much sodium, how much carbs, fats, um, you know. So where you put, like for him, where you carry your gear, how you carry your gear, uh, all comes into play, and it's just a mental battle with yourself. Just I don't know how to describe it other than it's just you get to find out what you're made of real quick.
Another interesting thing is I had this guy on last week who holds the world record for breath holding, 29 minutes and 3 seconds.
What?
Nuts, right? And he described, and he's a free diver also, you know, he's got depth records and all this shit. But
Yeah.
basically he said that as you approach it the week before, you start getting into these routines that are really important up until like that 5 minutes before you go. Everything prior to doing it is like complete routine. Like which shoe you put on, who you talk to, how much eye contact you make with, like everything starts getting into this like almost like you hear about these things, those Zen tea parties that put people into meditation. You know, you pour the tea, you set the cup down with your left hand. Or even yesterday, I don't know if you watched the US Open, but when Alcaraz was setting up his water bottles before he won the US Open, how he was setting them down precisely and then like tweaking them almost like he had some sort of crazy OCD shit going on.
Yeah.
Do you start feeling that as you get closer and closer, like your world starts like really narrowing in, and you just have these processes that are just like automatic?
Yeah. I think you know, you develop kind of like your pre-event ritual of
Ritual, yeah, ritual. That's a better word.
yeah, of trying to get yourself in the mental headspace of what's about to go down. So yeah, I think that's a great way you described it, of like things narrowing in on your complete and utter focus of like a goal. So yeah, like even days out before you do crazy stuff like that, like that's when the race really starts. Like if I don't sleep good 2 days before, the day before I do this 24-hour attempt, like if my head's just like all over the place, you know, nerves, what have you, that affects my performance. So it's really developing a plan that works for you to perform at the best when it's go time. So um, I don't have anything like crazy, like setting my water bottles up a certain way, but like mental preparation of, you know, I need to get in the headspace to where I'm not quitting and I'm holding a consistent pace for 24 hours. So um, there is, yeah, I could see that completely.
Like when I interview UFC fighters, if I interview them a month before the fight, it's like talking to a person. If I
Yeah.
interview them like 3 days before, it's like talking to a fucking wild animal.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
they're just
yeah.
like they don't really have much to say. Like they just are already starting to go to fucking kill zone.
Yep. Yep. I could see that.
Tell me about this experience. You went to High Rocks. I didn't even know. Do they have accommodations for wheelchairs, or you're just like you called them and like, hey, I'm showing up?
Yeah, so they do have adaptive divisions now. It was very new when I did that. But it was cool. I think you know, any organization that is willing to provide a space where you can go and do it is a good thing. And they had some adaptations for seated. Uh, they went nuts with one of the videos because I was just like, I want to show them what's possible. So like the burpees, I got out of my chair and I did a burpee on the ground.
Yeah,
I got
those
back in
look
my chair.
hard as shit. So
Yeah,
that's not the standard.
that's not the standard. No, the standard was a chair dip. So like grabbing both your arms and doing a dip and then push forward. And I was just like, yeah, I'll get out and do an actual burpee, and they lost their minds. So that was fun. So I think like any sport, you know, there's an opportunity to grow and to learn more and do more, and they're in a headspace to do it. So kudos to them for, you know, being able to see that there's a need in the adaptive community and giving us a space to go out there and do it. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Hey, do you swim? Like do you like if you go to a hotel, do you get in the pool with your kids?
Yeah, I can swim. I can go out there.
Like you can hang out in the pool with the kids and fool
Yeah,
around?
it's kind of like you know, uh, just kind of arm paddle and keep me afloat. But yeah, I can swim. I can still freestyle swim, do some distance. I'd love to eventually try and do like an Ironman. I think that'd be really cool.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Can you
But
go on your back and float? I'm assuming you can just go on your back and float. Like if you
yeah, they're
if you were
pretty
in trouble out there.
generous. They're pretty generous with the cutoffs for each section.
But I mean, just like in a hotel pool, if you're out there with your kids and you're out in the deep end, it's not panic. Like you're not like looking around for the edges.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not going to be sitting out there floating for like half an hour, but I can sit out there and play with my daughter and be in a pool and swim. You know, we've had swim events in CrossFit in the adaptive division, so you know, it's very much something you should and should be able to do and should practice. So yeah, I'll swim.
Mike, I don't know, you're not as old as me, but when I was a kid, there was a Simpsons episode. I'll never forget it. I was a little kid, and it was an episode where Bart or someone fell down a well, and there's a old, you know how they have the characters, and there's the old farmer character, and he goes over there and he takes off his shirt, and it's like, holy shit, he's all jacked and shit.
Mm.
Is it kind of funny like that with you? Like you go to a hotel pool and this guy rolls up in a wheelchair and everyone just thinks he's going to be this fucking decrepit dude, and you take your shirt off and everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it happens a lot, and it's funny.
I would love that. I would love to be able to do that. Take off my shirt somewhere and everyone be like, what the fuck?
I think the funniest experience I had was the first time I did Wodapalooza.
Mm-hmm.
And I rolled up there, and I just remember the security. They were all just like, "What the fuck? Look at this dude's arms!
Yeah.
Like, what is this guy eating? What are you doing?" And you know, I have lots of experiences like that. Where just like, "What do you do? Like, what do you? How are you so huge?" And I was just like,
It's not just that you're huge too, it's you have a tiny waist and you're just shredded everywhere and your tits hang perfect and like you're built like a fucking Chippendale dancer. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So it is a scene. If you go somewhere, if you're at the Hilton with your kids and you take off your shirt, it's a scene.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. Most of the time people just like look and then look away and don't stare. The kids always stare. They look at my legs. They're like, "What happened to your legs?" And then I tell them depending on how young they are, I'll just tell them I didn't eat my vegetables as a kid and that I quit growing, and the parents love it. The kids are mortified. And it's a great way to not tell the kids I got blown up in a war zone. Um, so, but yeah, I mean, it definitely turns heads, and it's just a lot of trial and error of like figuring out what works for me. I think the hardest thing for a seated athlete is nutrition. Like I'm missing a third of my body. I don't need to eat as much as I used to. And figuring out what works for me. So I've seen a lot of success in training and proper nutrition and maintaining an active lifestyle to where I can, you know, perform my best.
Well, hey, dude, thanks for coming on. We'll be watching. I can't wait to have you on after the race. I hope you have good memories of the emotional journey, because I can't wait to hear about. I can't wait to hear about all that.
Yeah, I'll definitely. If you ask me the crying question after, I will for sure at some point probably be crying out there. But yeah, no, I look forward to that, and yeah, we can hash it out, man. Appreciate
And
you having me on.
if people want to meet Mike, he's going to be busy, but bug him. He will be in Texas for the not Texas, Las Vegas. Vegas on 12th, 13th, and 14th for the CrossFit Games.
Awesome.
Thanks, brother. Love having you on.
All right. Thanks,
Glad
man.
we got to do it again. Talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Take care.
Ciao. Wow, what a great dude. I took my shirt off at a tailgate this weekend. Oh, send DM me at photos at Sevan Matosian. I'll keep them private. All righty. Mike Egan. God, I to be honest, I only planned on having him on for 45 minutes because he's been on before. Usually I kind of have this thing, like if you've been on for before, it's like usually I just allocate 45 minutes. That was crazy. That blew by fast. Let's see what Joe's up to. Joe Ellis. Transition for me wasn't about finding a new personality. It was about finding a way to keep on living free from the constant weight of dysphoria. I don't want society to change to fit me. My goal is to fit into the mostly binary world we live in. Oh, there's a whole post. Oh man. And this is just a whole people come to your Twitter to bang on you. Someone wrote, it's about your personality disorder, sir. Cluster B personality disorder. I only have a cluster fuck personality. Thank you very much. Which bathrooms do you use? I use the wood line. Thanks, Joe, for always keeping it real, man. Woman. Thanks for keeping it real, woman. Wow, there's 24 people watching on Twitter. People watch this show on Twitter. That's a trip. Do I see posts from Twitter? You know what's interesting is I think the people who watch on YouTube don't see the posts on Twitter, but I think I see them through StreamYard. I should give priority to people who comment from Twitter. Did you see the video I sent you from on X? Did you send it to messages? I have one message. I don't check my messages on I don't check my messages on X. It's 2 minutes long. I don't know if I can just play it cold, Olivia. I think I have to watch that one first. I watched a football game last night. There's a team called the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know what's happened to football. I don't know how there's a team called the Baltimore Ravens. When the fuck did they show up? Anyway, they got their ass beat, which kind of made me happy because they had the Buffalo Bills around when I was a kid. It was a crazy football game. I just chilled yesterday. I was in Stockton on Friday and Saturday for a kids jiu-jitsu tournament. My kids just kicked ass. Big indoor arena, seats like 12,000 people. It's probably like a third full, probably like 4,000 people there. Shitloads of kids, 30 kids in the brackets. It was crazy. And then came home Saturday when the tournament was over. And then Sunday just hung out around the house, played fucking 200 games of ping pong with the boys. We were all just in our underwear all day, hanging out in the sun, working the garden. And then we watched the Bills game and then on and off. And then they scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I think the highlight of the game was for those of you who watch football that you know about the 2-point conversion. And I just remember back in the day when I watched football, you'd never see 2-point conversions. And the Bills tried to go for 3 2-point conversions. There were 2 things I'd never seen before in last night's game. I'd never seen a game with 3 2-point conversion attempts. That was crazy. And they failed them all. And then I also saw a guy on the Baltimore Ravens kick a field goal and not make it. I've never seen anyone miss a fucking field goal. And he missed the field goal. He hit they called it a doink. He hit the goalpost and the ball didn't go in. So the Ravens only got 6 points. And the commentator, I guess the kicker's name was Luke. The field goal kicker's name was Luke. And they go, that won't be the last one he misses this year. And I'm like, what? Yeah, my kids kept asking me if the Eagles are the best team in the NFL. Did they win the Super Bowl? Is that why they keep asking me that? I'm like, how the fuck do I know? Oh, extra point. Sorry, extra point. Sorry, Adam. It was an extra point. He missed an extra point. Sorry. Yeah, the guy fucking missed the fucking extra point. I'd never seen that. I watch football like every Sunday, 3 games every Sunday for 5 years. I don't ever remember anyone missing an extra point. And it would be rare you would see a 2-point conversion. Like I don't know if the game has changed or what, but you would see like, I don't know, I probably in 5, you wouldn't even see one a year. In last night's game, there were 3, so I got to explain that to my kids. I don't know if I explained it well, but yeah, the game was crazy. I'm glad I watched the whole game. Eventually, the Bills scored a touchdown with like 30 or 40 seconds left, and then they ran the clock down, and the guy kicked the ball with 1 second for the extra point, and it went through the goalpost with 0 time on the clock. It was crazy. Oh, they made the distance further. It's because they made the distance further. More kickers miss extra points. In college, it's super close. Oh, no shit. There were so many drop passes last night. There were so many. Basically, the score was crazy. The teams, I want to say that between the two teams, they scored over 75 points. There was just no defense in this game. It was just like offense was just going fucking wild. It was crazy. Yeah, Tyson and yeah, I'm really excited. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do tonight because I got the Dave Castro week in review, and I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm trying to get a lady named Katie Burris. What was her Instagram again? I'm trying to get this chick Katie Burris on tomorrow. Let me see if I have her in my search. Hopefully Sousa can get this figured out. I don't mean to put it on Sousa, but I mean I do mean to, but I don't mean to. Katie Burris, the deaf PT. Yeah, I'm trying to get her on. How am I gonna? I'm just so curious how we're gonna do that. How am I gonna have a deaf person on the podcast? How the fuck is that gonna work? So this should be just amazing. She looks like someone I know. Oh, today's exactly 2 years since my second brain surgery. Ever since my surgeries in 2023, I've dealt with dizziness during a lot of things in everyday life, but it's something I just deal with and move on. Usually I can push through it. Oh no, look when she stands up. She seems a little dizzy. Dude, I cannot stand being dizzy. Sometimes I'm in here for too long and the bright lights are on me and I get dizzy. I hate that feeling. Wow. All right. Yeah, this should be interesting.
My hope is found. He is my light, my strength, my soul. This cold.
Yeah, this should be a fun podcast tomorrow. All right. Hopefully we figure this out. I don't know. Like, does she talk into a machine? Does she type into a machine? I don't know. It's gonna be crazy. Talk to a text app and share screens. Oh. Thank you, Jamie. Yeah, it's the Deaf PT. I texted her last night like at 10:30, and then she texted me back like at 6 a.m. I have no boundaries. Anyway, I'm pretty excited to have her on. It'll be cool. Have you had her on, Scott? Have you had anyone deaf on? Like, how's that work? How's that work? Man, the Caleb Williams stuff is getting crazy. He's getting ass pounded. He is just getting ass pounded. Oh, you talk really loud. Katie, hi. That would be crazy. I hope I don't do something stupid like start talking to her like she's a fucking foreigner. You know how like you do that sometimes? You'd be talking to a foreigner, all of a sudden you're like, "Hi, my name is Sevon." I hate that shit when I catch myself doing that. I'm like, "Oh fuck, what am I doing?" You start talking to a black dude and you start talking in a black affect, or you're talking to a Russian, you start talking like a fucking Russian. "How are you today?" God, I hope I don't do that. I'm so susceptible to that. Start mirroring someone like that. Just like, "Hey, dude, take a deep breath, fucking relax." Um, all right. Probably Matt's probably coaching. Hopefully he can reach out to Katie. I didn't give her much time either. I'm gonna try to have her on tomorrow morning because I know she's competing this weekend. So, uh, that's important. You guys want to see a video that I showed my kids yesterday that made them cry? I didn't even I wasn't even like showing it to them. I was during the Bills game and I was oh, where is that? Oh, I don't see it in my show notes. My kid came over to me and started watching this shit over my shoulder. Um uh, did I not copy and paste that and stick that in? Let me see if oh, I know where it is. I know where it is. Here it is. So my son Ari came over and started watching this as I was watching it. Normally, I don't let him do that either. Came and sat on my lap and started watching this, and he started crying. So good. My son Ari, the first thing he said is like, "I'd give my ball away too," to a little kid. He's a fucking little kid. And then my other son Joseph said, "I'd give it away because it's dirty." Why this song though? I don't know. I didn't hear the song. It was blocked it out. I didn't even hear the song. Oh, you heard the song too? I didn't hear it. Worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Video is retarded. Oh shit. I don't even know the song. How did you guys hear the song? I don't even listen to the song. I just watch the people. Block all that shit out. All right. You guys are better listeners than me. This was all inspired. Obviously, last week we did the correlates of just douchebags, the douchebag haircut correlate. And man, it's like it is just so nice shorts, girl. Damn, look at those shorts. Badonkadonk.
Most bizarre fan interactions you'll see. The Phillies hit a home run into the stands where this guy ended up getting the ball and giving it to his son. He was then grabbed and confronted by a woman who we guess believed that ball belonged to her. After some back and forth, the dad gave in and just gave her the ball. The Marlins noticed what happened.
Look at that fucking haircut, guys. I'm telling you. Why?
And delivered the young fan a goodie bag to try and make it better.
He had a little prize pack and some baseballs to make up for the incident that we caught a little bit earlier on our game. So you see,
in one of the most
fucking nuts. Fucking nuts. That wasn't her. That wasn't her only. They got some other crowd interaction with her fighting with other people in the crowd too. It's kind of crazy. I don't know if this is the clip. Let's see. That's the hit. The ball goes in there. You see the guy come over and get it. And for those of you who don't go to baseball games, like when the ball goes out there, it's a free for all. Like just because it comes to your section, like it's known. Everyone just comes. Everyone's tracking the ball. Those are the seats where all the balls come to. Those are usually the cheap seats, and it's a free for all. It's like it's not a big deal. That's part of the fun. Like you're racing over there with 10 other people to get the ball. Gets the ball, brings it back to his kid. Oh, man, she just chases him down. You took it from me. Crazy. Everyone there knows. Everyone there knows. It's that fucking haircut. Why that haircut? Oh shit. It's gone. There was a page. I had a page where someone had doxed her. It's off of Twitter. And it showed her entire Instagram account. It was classic. It was all the fucking I hate Trump shit. It was amazing. It was amazing. She's exactly who you think she is. Just entitled fucking victim. Just looking to play the fucking victim everywhere.
What is this now going after the guy who was in the Jalen Hurts, Go Birds jersey, who was also trying to get the ball? And then flipping off everybody who's booing her. Look, I get it. Nobody wants to get booed, right? I don't want to get booed. You don't want to get booed. But, like, a little bit deserving. Go Birds. Dumb situation.
Oh, she got fired from her job? Linda Liberal. Yeah, I forget what her name is. I feel sorry for her husband. For sure. She needs to get laid out for getting in people's faces like that. Yeah, I don't know if she was drunk or what. Linda Libtard, not bad. If Subaru Outback had a spokesperson, solid. Oh, look, a Twitter comment. Looks like a good person. Looks like she needs to take a ride under your truck. Watch it turn out that the crazy lady actually made a promise to some dying child in the hospital that she'd grab a home run ball for him. Yeah. No. And even if she did, you don't fucking act like that. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Is this the there's a great Drake video making its rounds too. God, I love Drake. Let's see if this is it.
I'm Jewish. Not to say that I can't have a feast. Well, my mom is, yeah. So that makes me Jewish. You Jewish. Yeah.
Let me see where the there was a great video of shit, I don't have it. There's a great video of Drake telling that girl what kind of girl is his dream girl. It's awesome. He wants a goth girl covered in tats with O cups. It's an incredible fucking video. I don't have it. Anyway, crazy that it's that haircut. That haircut. I mean, you don't get the haircut and turn into a bitch. But if you're a bitch, you got to get that haircut. It just is. Anything anyone's doing asymmetrical is like a strong correlate. You know what I mean? Like if Mike Egan only had one, if he had one leg and he was asymmetrical, he'd be a douche. I bet. Asymmetry just makes you a fucking douche. Very common misunderstanding, very common argument made around autism. This is the best response I've heard regarding autism.
One answer is, well, Bobby, the reason we get a lot more now is because everything gets a diagnosis these days. Every kid has at least 2 diagnoses for what we used to just call behavior. So now
the argument is that, hey, and this, by the way, this was exactly what happened with polio and with COVID. What they do is they change the diagnosis as the disease goes along, thus scooping more people into the net to get prescriptions. And then when they release the drugs that cure the ailments, they reduce the diagnoses. So what happened with polio, they used to diagnose you with polio in the first 12 hours. And then eventually, when the vaccine came out, they changed the diagnosis to a month. You had to show the symptoms for a month. So what's that going to do? there's going to be shitloads of people who are misdiagnosed, like more than half. Same exact thing happened with COVID. Do you remember that? It used to be just like if you were coughing, you had it. Then it had to be a swab test in coughing. And then eventually it's like, hey, you remember even nurses were allowed to go back. You had to have it for like 7 days straight before you couldn't go to work. I mean, so it's fucking insane. Then all of a sudden, all the data, you're comparing apples and oranges. So what this guy, this Cuomo douchebag is saying, he's saying, hey, the only reason why there's more people than ever with autism today is because the diagnosis changed. Well, listen to RFK's response. It's brilliant.
Now they're putting all these kids on the autism spectrum because that is kind of like the fashion of the moment. That's the answer to why we're seeing more. Do you accept that?
No, that is nonsense. It is an absurd, industry-driven canard. There's been study after study after study in high gravitas journals by the best research organizations and institutions and universities around this country that shows that the autism epidemic is real. And Chris, it's also just common sense. If it was just a matter of better diagnosis or better recognition, you would see it in older people.
There it is. You'd see it in older people. The diagnosis for older people isn't skyrocketing. It's skyrocketing in kids. They say this with peace and love. I personally think that if you let government mandated drugs get injected into your kids, you're fucking batshit crazy. You have fucking lost your fucking mind. If there's fucking 72 drugs that your kids have to take in order to be present in the 3rd grade classroom at your local public school, you do that, you are fucking nuts. There's always, you're nuts. You're getting your baby shots for venereal diseases, and fuck this thing about spacing it out. Just don't fucking do it. So here's what happens, and I haven't talked about this in a long time. Some of you probably heard it a million times from me. But what happens when you take vaccines or mRNA stuff, it alters your immune system forever. Forever. It's not like you take a Vicodin, you go home, makes your stomach sick, and you're like, okay, can you give me something else instead? Can you switch me from Percocet to oxycodone to Oxycontin? Like, it's not like that. That shit bypasses all your T cells, all that shit goes straight to the fucking core of your immune system and alters your immune system fucking forever. They work at the final frontier where your body, if shit gets through all your first levels of your immune system, the last place they have the battle, that's where the vaccine is. So you're basically changing the last hope you have of fighting it off yourself. You're fucking nuts. And people are always like, well, what about polio? What about tetanus? Hey, dude, look into them. Do your research. You will quickly see the entire polio scam is identical to the COVID scam. Every step of the way, from changing the diagnoses to not really knowing what it is, to it going away before the vaccine came out, to all it's identical how it rolled out. You do not just be giving your fucking kids drugs. Do not let people at the fucking hospital let you put drugs into your fucking kids. Especially if there's some sort of fucking, if you don't do this, you can't do this. Fuck that. That doesn't even make sense. We're getting sicker as a society, and we're going to trust the group that that's making the decisions for our health. I don't think so. I'm tapping. I'm out.
Do you believe COVID-19 was politicized?
Yeah, the whole process was politicized. Senator, I mean, we were lied to about everything. We were lied to about about natural immunity. We're lied to about, we were told again and again the vaccines would prevent transmission, they prevent infection. It wasn't true. They knew it from the start. It wasn't true because that's what the animal studies and the clinical trials showed. We were told that there was science behind cloth masks. The CDC allowed the teachers union to write the order closing our schools, which hurt working people all over the country, and then pretend it was science-based. All of these issues, and then I can show you, like, for example, Chairman Wyden was talking about me politicizing ACIP. During COVID, probably the most famous scientist on ACIP was Martin Kulldorff from Harvard, the great world-renowned epidemiologist and vaccinologist. And he criticized the COVID booster mandates. They ejected him from COVID because he wasn't in the orthodoxy. The two biggest health officials at FDA.
You couldn't even play this video on YouTube 3 years ago. You couldn't even play this video on YouTube 3 years ago.
During COVID, Dr. Gruber and Dr. Krause criticized the Biden mandates, vaccine mandate. President Biden said in August, I would never take that vaccine, the Trump vaccine. And he came in, he mandated it, and then he fired the two top health officials at FDA who said, hey, this thing has not been properly tested. So the whole process was politicized, and even today.
So let me, do you believe COVID?
Do you remember that? How crazy is that? They weren't going to take it because it was developed under the Trump administration. Then when they got in, they mandated it. Fucking nuts, man. I cannot believe we fucking lived through that. I cannot believe we lived through that. We're still sharing that same space with these idiots. These people who are unable. Their only defense is, but my doctor said to take it, or you're not a scientist. That's as dumb as the argument that women should get as paid as much as men in sports. Well, how about disabled? When you start talking like that and you don't have any fucking logic or anything to back it up except something that's based on someone's emotion. So basically, when I say women should get paid as much as women in sports, basically what they're saying is this supposition that it doesn't matter what you bring to market, it should all get paid the same. Like, what's the premise there that you're working on? Should disabled athletes get paid the same amount? Should children athletes get paid the same amount? There's no fucking way. A men on OnlyFans should get paid as much as women. You don't hear anyone saying that. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? They're conflating ideas. What they're trying to do is, and obviously most of you know, they're trying to pit the sexes against each other. It has nothing to do with the fact of whether you're male or female. It's what the market's demanding. Marijuana and cocaine should cost the same amount. No. Cocaine is much harder to make, and the penalty for bringing it into the country and doing it is much more severe. So the costs are much more, there's much more risk, and it's much more expensive. It's fucking batshit crazy. We live with fucking people who are unable to fucking think.
NIH Foundation that has $1.2 trillion in it, given from Big Pharma for their share of the COVID vaccine. So, no, it's an extraordinary thing where in private, they were very open to the fact, leaning towards and in favor of the fact that the virus came from a lab. In public, they were disdainful. They got Facebook to take all our crap down. They got Facebook to take down the discussion of it as a conspiracy. That's an evil thing to do, and it's dishonest. It's not just you're a bad person. If you were in the government and you were leading people astray as to the cause of something because you funded, you deserve to be punished really in a criminal way. There's an NIH foundation that's.
I hope they get these guys. I hope that there's a big punishment for that. Absolutely nuts. And then there's the fucking psychopath Elizabeth Warren. Absolutely batshit crazy. This all just went down for those of you who don't know. Last week, they had RFK in the Senate, and they just grilled him, and it will show you how stupid all our politicians are. It truly is akin to arguing with someone on Instagram, except they're doing it face to face, meaning that ideas being conflated, and anytime you're not winning, you just resort to name calling.
You should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going like this.
That is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines.
First of all, he's not taking away vaccines, and they're not vaccines. They even changed the definition of vaccine. But let's say she is right. Let's give her a little leeway here. Before something, an mRNA or anything comes to market, that's pharmaceutical like this, it has to go through certain amount of studies, and there has to be a certain level of rigor in the studies that allows it to come to market. That's one of the jobs of the government. So if it hasn't, you're not taking it away if it hasn't jumped through that first hoop. So she's she doesn't even understand her sequencing. He's not taking it away for any other reason than, hey, dude, it didn't pass the test. Imagine there were cars on the road, and before a car has to be allowed on the road, it has to pass all of these requirements by each state. You know what I mean? It has to like have headlights and tail lights and certain amount of gasoline efficiency, and it can only be so high off the ground. And if the tires stick out past the fenders, it has to have mud flaps so it doesn't kick rocks onto other cars. And imagine a car went to market, and everywhere it went, it kicked rocks up onto the cars behind them because it didn't have the right tires or mud flaps, or the back end just facilitated rock kicking. They would have to fix that. That car would have to come off the road. It would be recalled and it would be fixed. And what she's saying is like, you're pulling it off. No, we're not pulling it off. It hasn't been tested and passed the tests in order to get the car on the fucking road.
From anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it.
Earlier, they're not going to show this part, but she says it's taken away, and he says, no, it's not. And she's all, well, it's not free anymore. Imagine arguing about that, thinking that the drug was ever free. Imagine believing that the drug was ever free. It was never free. Just because you can go into fucking Walgreens and get it for free doesn't mean it's free. Someone had to pay for it. Who?
From their pharmacy
the question is, everyone who wants it, that was your promise.
I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said,
and I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator Kennedy,
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary, you
want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
What you should be doing is honoring.
Fucking nuts. Fucking nuts. By the way, what happened was, if I understand correctly, is the CDC no longer recommended the COVID vaccine for kids 6 months and older. And what that did is that made it so it changed its insurance classification, making it more difficult for people to get. By more difficult, meaning people were going to have to pay out of pocket. I think that's what she's referencing. but they can't have a discussion about it because all she wants to do is beat him down. It's nuts. God, I'd headbutt Pocahontas. Yeah, she's a horrible person. She's a bad person. Her and Bernie are bad people. They act from just a complete place of fear the entire time. We have this is going to be pretty much a sweeping generalization, but we have too many old people in government who are terrified of dying. I had this argument with my dad during COVID, and he said, you have to do it to protect the old people. I'm like, what old people? And he's like, old people. And I'm like, so we're going to hurt our population that's under 20 to protect people who are over 80, who have less than a 13-month life expectancy? And he said, oh, easy for you to say. Wait till you're 80. Fucking nuts. Don't lump us in with us feather Indians. We don't claim her. All right, good. She's despicable. On a final note, it continues in the United Kingdom. What a fucking shit show. This is a comedian. I was arrested at Heathrow, thrown in a cell, rushed to the hospital as my blood pressure spiked, and then silenced online, all for posting on social media. What do you think this guy posted? I'm going to pull up what he said. This is what he got arrested for posting this online in the United Kingdom. You ready? If a trans-identified male is a female-only space, he is committing a violent and abusive act. Make a scene, call the cops, and if all else fails, punch him in the balls. And it's a joke, right? Because it's a female, but you punch him in the balls. Got arrested for that. Said he was inciting violence in the United Kingdom. This one, they said this one, a photo you can smell. I don't know if this is like a Palestinian protest or what. He got arrested for this one. These are the three they cited. I hate them, misogynists and homophobes. Fuck them. He got fucking arrested at the airport in the United Kingdom. Five cops met him at the airport. The Father Ted guy. Yeah, he's written two really successful sitcoms in the UK. I had never heard of him. I don't know if he was on Rogan. Does your dad do CrossFit or just my mom? Just my mom. My dad's crazy active though. He has a ag farm in Armenia, like small, like I don't know, 6 acres. But he's like when my dad comes to my house, he basically just works in the backyard the entire time. I used to get frustrated because he'd be like cutting shit down. I didn't want to get cut down. But then I was like, finally, at one point, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Who cares? It all grows back. It makes him happy. Whatever. He knows what he's doing. I saw another shit show happen in the another shit show happened in the CrossFit space. It's so sad to see these girls getting taken advantage of. What a fucking shit show. This is just fucking pathetic. Ladies, please run as far away from this shit as you can. This is the kind of shit that is going to absolutely fuck you. There's this agency, I guess it's called the Sin Agency, and they have another agency called 04 Agency. It says elite female athletes earn 1% of what men earn on average. It's about time that changed. You do not want to be affiliated with any organization that at their foundation it's playing the victim or comparing you to something that's a false using a demographic as some sort of presupposition. This is all based on the fact that somehow men are getting paid more because they have penises or because they're men than women who have tits and vagina. There is zero truth to this. This has been studied over and over and over and been debunked over and over and over. If you look at the just basic big picture, if you look at the data, women are in the workforce far less than men at single jobs for duration, meaning the average woman stays at, I'm just making these numbers up, for 5 years, and the average man stays at a job for 10 years. So right there, you see why men get paid more. And women also, brace yourself, they have babies. And the third thing is, on average, women work a significant less amount of hours per week. And when you actually did the averages, women actually got paid more. So this kind of shit is nuts. So to say this, that women only make 1% of what men make in sports. And by the way, like no one's like, who the fuck's making money in fucking sports? It's a fucking pipe dream. Most people who play sports end up fucking living in the fucking ghetto and are poor. That's really what happens. But all of that aside, why don't they have the same thing? Men make only 1% of what women make on OnlyFans. It all has to do with markets, and they're trying to turn this into a some sort of like sexist thing. 04 is an evolution of one of the sport's leading talent agencies. The sports, they don't even know they don't even know the space they're in. That's another bad sign. Having represented and worked with leading female athletes and agents, the founders of this group recognize the importance of handing the reins to an all-female team to take forward and champion women in sports under zero. Oh, that's what's going to happen. Hey, how about this? What if I told you that women agents? What if I told you this? What if I told you that women agents actually only bring in 1% of the fucking money to athletes? So on one hand, you're going to complain that women don't get paid enough based on what? Based on the fact that they have vaginas and the person, the other organism they're comparing it to have penises. Irrelevant premise, but okay. It's just the victim premise. But now you're going to have women who are going to try to change that. Why don't you have men try to change that? You fucktards. Creating a new agency that's run by women for women will allow 04, whatever, to create bolder change across the industry and drive endemic change from the top down. Holy shit. It's fucking nuts. It is fucking nuts. Oh my God. This is not how you're going to do it. Let me see. I want to see if I can get to their Oh, and of course, they're European. They're European and they're completely socialist. It's distribution of wealth, not earned wealth. That's their premise. Let's see who they have. Oh, Nelly. Poor Amy, Claudia, Emily, Emma, Lauren. Didn't this girl have some sort of fucking issue? Ladies, get the fuck away from these people. What are you doing? You're only fucking yourself. You're alienating. You're going the opposite direction. You're going the opposite direction that you want to go. You're not gonna make more money doing this. You're gonna make fucking less money. And you're gonna alienate the largest part of your audience, which is your male audience. Hello, OnlyFans. Caller, hi.
What's up, homie?
Hey.
Hey, you're talking about this sin agency thing?
Is that what it is? Sin?
Yeah,
S-I-N?
so Strength in Numbers is the agency that created that new one.
Yeah, isn't that ironic? Strength in numbers, when their whole premise is to alienate people, is to cut the population in half.
Well, yeah, what I was gonna say is, like, I think the owner is a dude who gave power to women to make this new one, right? So isn't it still like a man's giving you the power to do a girl's agency? Isn't that weird?
That's like when you find out Black Lives Matter is run by 2 Jewish guys.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah,
Like
it's
like if you read the art, like I think I don't know, Morning Taco has it or the article or somewhere else. I think I just saw it. It says Strength in Numbers handed off the baton to a new agency become its own, led by women. So a dude gave you permission to create your own agency.
Do they show
That's
a
weird to
picture
me.
of the women who are leading it? Please tell me that they have those haircuts just to
No, I
really
didn't.
solidify
didn't.
my my hypothesis.
No, I didn't see it. I just read the caption because I was at work.
Yeah, why let me see. I'm on the Morning Chalk Up's Instagram. Is it on their Instagram?
Yeah, somewhere on there it says
Oh
new
no.
agency.
I'm on
And
their
the caption.
Oh, what's the name of the organization? 04?
04 is a new one that created under Strength in Numbers.
04 talent. It should be called Sexist Agency. No agency with the specific 04 talent agency was found. Oh. Can't even find him in Google.
They're just brand new.
What's the other one called?
Strength in Numbers.
Strength in Numbers.
That's the one that Fakowski, I think, was part of. Like that's his agent.
That doesn't
surprise Or his
me.
agency. I think I think it's all European.
Strength in Numbers, talent. I don't see them on no website pops up for them. I'm sure they have
yeah, it's on Instagram, I think. I don't know if they have a website. I think it should, but it's S1N, like Strength in Numbers, but and it's sin, but instead of the I, it's a 1.
I'm going to their Instagram. Oh, here's their website. Oh, maybe they have a link to their oh yeah, Brent Fikowski's their big person. Oh yeah, look at the people they have. Holy shit. The list of who's who of fucking victims. And self-entitled
I figured Brent was in there.
And self-entitled motherfuckers. Crazy. Oh
Wow.
boy.
It's
women.
women.
They got Craig Ritchie too. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So it's just weird.
Oh god.
Which is a weird thought. Like you're giving, like a dude's giving you permission to open up an agency for women. That's weird to me. Because I'm pretty sure the owner is a dude.
Oh shit, they represent the Buttery Bros too. My goodness.
All right, I gotta get to this meeting about Bo Jackson shit. I'll see you later, man.
Right, bye. Oh geez. They don't have Amy Kringle. I don't know her. They have Sporty Beth, Brent Fikowski, Buttery Bros, Craig Ritchie. They got Craig Ritchie on here fucking twice. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. How did you? That doesn't look like the UFC fighter. Obi must be a different one. Oh, poor Zach. He had a bunch of wokeness victim shit to him too. Stay the fuck away from that, guys. That's not where you want to go. It's not where you want to go. You're not. You're a parasite. Distribution of wealth is a parasite on society. You want to bring things of value to market and entice people who are at the table to trade you whatever you want, money, products, whatever. You don't want it to be because if it just so happens you're a woman, it's okay. OnlyFans, great. If it just so happens that you're a man working on oil rigs, cool, great. We know why the WNBA is having a little bit of success this year because they have a mega talent. It has nothing to do with the fact of whether she's a woman or not woman. It's relative to the field. It's the same thing with like electric cars. You know, the first few electric cars were ass and they weren't doing good. And then some good ones came out and they started fucking killing it. And it had nothing to do with who was on the assembly line. It wasn't because it was made by illegal Mexicans or men or women. Is Julie Foucher on there? You'd think she would be. It's because of the green dildos. Yeah, for sure. There's nothing cooler. If you want men to watch your sport, allow the green dildos to be thrown on the court. Crazy. But illegal Mexicans make better cars. Yeah. And if you think that, then that could be a reason why to buy those cars. Fucking embarrassing. I don't understand how this shit still sprouts up in this day and age when there's no tolerance for that shit. I want status. I want to feel superior, so I go with the popular opinion. Yeah, it's it's just being status hungry. You're just going after what you think the populace wants. Man, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail over there. I really want to see who's running this org. I want to see what they look like. Hey, where women are most successful is where they've been marketed to men. Maybe not in politics. Why not put this energy into celebrating all the fucking insane women, fucking powerhouse women that are in the Trump orbit? Women in Trump orbit. I wonder if that'll give me a list of Susie Wiles, first White House chief of staff is a woman. Carolyn Levitt, Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, Kristi Noem, Linda McMahon, Secretary of Education, Lori Chavez, Secretary of Labor, Alina Habba, counselor to the president, his chief general counsel. I think now she's the attorney general for the state of New Jersey. Kelly Loeffler, Minister of Small Business Administration. Brooke Rollins, Secretary of Agriculture. Janet Neuschwat, nominee for Surgeon General. Holy shit. Look at those hammers on this chick. This is crazy. My goodness, Maron. Jeanette Neuschwat. Is this? Oh, what happened? Oh, that's weird. It won't let me put. Did you guys see that? Did that pop up on the screen? Oh, that's crazy. It won't let me share this page. Oh, they're crazy. They are like Pelosi's hammers. I'm gonna copy and paste her name and go to Google Images. I don't know why they're not. I don't know why. Images. Let me see if this this may have been the one where she got fired. This might be the chick that got fired. Oh, I can't share screen anymore. Huh. I lost my ability to share. Oh, there it is. Jeez Louise. They almost look like they're not the same size. Her left one looks gigantic. Great question. If they were better than Pelosi's. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, something's going on with my computer. All right. Yeah. How about focusing on those powerful women? All right. I showed you guys the video of the gender pay gap issue. That was amazing. And I leave you with this. For anyone who needs a final push over the edge to get red pilled. Here you go.
Man dropped a nuke on the Democratic Party.
You hate white men unless they're gay. You love black people unless they're conservative. You're for illegal immigration as long as they don't come into your home. You want to ban guns, but you want the government to still have theirs. You hate capitalism, but you expect these corporations to change their logo for Pride Month. You hated slavery, so you hate the party that was formed to abolish the slaves. You hated slavery, but you align with the party that was for keeping slaves. You don't recognize two genders unless you're talking about their hormones. You hate American values, but yet you want to still live here. You say black people can't be racist, but Candace Owens, Thomas Sowell, and Larry Elder are white supremacists. You want to ban guns to save children, but keep abortion to murder them.
This man dropped a nuke on the...
And on that note, love you guys. I will see you later today for the Dave Castro Weekend Review. Have a great day. Love you all. Thanks for joining. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.